restricted visas to Ugandan officials, especially those that are involved in maligning the democratic process. Then I said, sina jindaga, nsigaddemu. That answered my question. And I know I speak on behalf of so many activists, especially in the United States and Europe. This was a shot in the arm for many of us. And on this note, I would like to congratulate all our comrades and colleagues who work so hard to expose the regime in Uganda, and who must have felt very happy when the United States imposed these visa restrictions on the regime in Uganda, especially upon those officials that are adjudged to frustrate the process of democratization. Mujja kunsonyiwa olumu nseerera n'enjogera oluzungu lungi, naye era nkimanyi nti abasinga mulobamu amatobotobo. Kale tujagendera awo mpola mpola. Naye waliwo mukwano gwange abeera Worcester mu ssaza ly'e Massachusetts. Yange nti kakati mmwe mbeewuunya. Mugenda ne mubeera awo ne mugamba mbu America esazeeko visa ne musanyuka and all that. Naye ebyo byonna tebirina kye bigasa. Tebirina na kye biyamba. Mbadde njagala mpozi okutwala akadakiika nyinyonnyole why the idea of restricting visas is not byoya byanswa. Is not byoya byanswa at all. Mbadde nsoma ku Facebook this morning, era nensanga omuntu omu ng'awandiise ng'addamu munne, mukulu ono yali minisita wa Museveni, naye ng'awandiise nti ebya America okugaana okuwa oba okukendeeza ku visa za bakungu ba Uganda tekirina nnyo makulu, kubanga America yeetaaga Uganda okusinga Uganda bwe yeetaaga America. Kakati bw'owulira omuntu eyali mu gavumenti oba ali mu gavumenti nga arizoninga bw'atyo, ndowooza oba okiraba lwaki gavumenti eno erina obuzibu. You see the constituent pieces of the government and how they conceive and how they reason, then you understand why this Ugandan regime is problematic. Now, let me put this straight. America does not need Uganda more than Uganda needs America. Uganda needs America very much. Obuyambi America bwetuwa si bwe bungi nnyo. Katugende ku average kati eriwo eya milioni 9.5 buli mwaka. Ensimbi ezo almost just 15% zezigenda ku development yaffe. Only that. The rest of that money is for military exercises that Uganda carries out on behalf of the United States and Europe. Now, that having been said, oyinza okugamba nti, yeah, America yeetaaga Uganda okusinga the other way around. Naye, yeah, waliwo ensi ezituwa obuyambi obw'amaanyi ennyo, naddala eza Scandinavian countries, Denmark, ensi ezo zituwa ssente mpitirivu obungi okusinga America zetuwa. But I will use a certain example so all of you can know. Because the way I broadcast this is sometimes I tend to teach because I fall in that professional caliber. So chijabuzi automatically. Mutunulire omugga Nile oguva mu nsi ya Uganda ne Ethiopia, ne gugenda ne guyita mu Sudaani, ne gugenda e Misiri. Amazzi agasinga obungi mu mugga ogwa Nile, almost 70%, 70 to 85%, gava mu Blue Nile, eva mu Ethiopia. Most of the water that gets into the Nile and goes to Ethiopia, and goes to Egypt, 70 to 85% comes from Ethiopia. Uganda contributes only at most 30%, between 15 and 30%. But at no time is the water from Uganda useless. In fact, I would wish to tell you that the water from Uganda into the Nile is a little more important than most of the water that comes from Ethiopia. Why is this the case? Amazzi ga Uganda, ge tuyita White Nile, galina kinene kye gakola mu flow dynamics, the flow of the water going to the Nile, going to Egypt. Amazzi ga Uganda ge gasindika gali aga Ethiopia okwanguwa n'okutuuka mu budde mu nsi y'e Misiri. So, singa amazzi ga Uganda aga Nile, White Nile, tegaliwo, amazzi ga Blue Nile agava mu Ethiopia gandibadde gagenda kasoobo nnyo we gandituukidde eri nga bali bafudde. So, the White Nile of Uganda is very important because it helps in the flow dynamics of the entire Nile waters to Egypt. Abagala ebisingawo mu flow dynamics, munoonye abantu be bayita hydrologists bababulire ekintu ekyo we kiri ku Nile River e Africa. Now, America eyinza okuba nga etuwa obusente butono. Granted. But since 1945, the board of the IMF is headed, actually the board of the World Bank is headed by America. Indeed, it is America which appoints the managing director of the World Bank. Another factor you should know, only America heads the IMF. Now, when they say America is a world leader, this is what they mean. So, obusente America bwa Uganda butono. Nebo okwata akabbo, noga nti ngenze mu World Bank. Bodi yayo negana okuwa sente. Egana kubanga America egambye oyo tetumwagala. Singa omukulu mu IMF agana okusayininga abaganye kubanga America yagambye oyo tetumwagala. America has influence in IMF and the World Bank. Now, I'll show you another influence. Tugende mpola mpola. Nzija bukulu bokka. Ekintu kya visa kyayise. Visa restrictions upon Uganda government officials, particularly those that have a hand in the frustration of democratization in that country. What is going to happen, and mark my words, what is going to happen, especially if the activists, our friends up here, the Ugandans who work so hard, if they put in effort also and talk to Europe, starting tomorrow, I know some started on Friday, Europe is just going to assume the exact decision which America took. and it will put visa restrictions on Ugandan officials with a hand in frustrating democratization in that country. It is called the multiplier effect. Kakati gwe alowooza nti America terina kyeyamba, ekyo kye bayita leadership. Kubanga America yakoonyeemu, yakoze decision neekoonamu ekinankani. Linda Europe. Mujiwe just about 14 days, 14 to 21 days. Kakati awo mwabadde bagamba nti we have no business to go to America, we don't want anything to America. Kati you are going to be locked out of both America and Europe. Kati ogereko ne kapoint akala katontolo. When Mr. Museveni took over Uganda, I don't know what went in his head. Naye yagana, I don't know, deliberate or not, amalwaliro gamulema. Amalwaliro gamulema. Naye ekintu kino sikitegeera because Idi Amin Dada, musajja reportedly yakoma mu grade 4 education, yali amanyi obukulu bw'eddwaliro, to the extent that when there was a problem in Mulago, Idi Amin Dada went personally to Mulago to meet the doctors because he knew the importance of hospitals and doctors. I think you recall a certain video where Idi Amin was advising the doctors that when they drink, they should drink little and stay proud, not to overdrink. Sick. Not to overdrink, but to drink little and feel proud. That was Idi Amin advising his friends, the Ugandan doctors. When Mr. Museveni is talking to the Ugandan doctors, he says, that nonsense of yours, I shall not tolerate. In fact, if you don't want to work, we shall get UPDF to come and treat our people. So this arrogancy, blinding someone to fail to see the importance of health and health workers, is detrimental. I don't know. Nze omanyi nze saga bintu bya kufuga. Nze njaga dembe lyange. I play a game which is very nice. It is called Scrabble. I can play Scrabble from 10 in the morning to 10 at night. And a friend of mine I used to play with just died recently. The doctor died in Canada, and my condolences to his family and all people who knew Stephen Kaduli. Very nice gentleman. Very nice gentleman. Stephen Kaduli went to Namasagali, and he also worked in internal affairs ministry. And I think he's been a research fellow at one of the universities in Canada. He passed on recently. I think he passed on Friday or Thursday, so very, very sad. Nze saga bintu bya kufuga. Ebintu by'okufuga ebyo bye mulaba biri stressful. Very, very stressful. People, you don't have, it's stressful. It's better to be an activist, make sure there is a good governance in your country and everything is okay. Then you go in the village, build a very nice house and play Scrabble and drink akashera. It is better that way. Na ye n'obanga ofuge gwanga. Ng'ofuge gwanga. Oyambale suuti ne bakukubira emizinga n'okuba ne saluti. Naye n'obanga abantu bonna abalwala mu gavumenti yo bonna bagenda Kenya oba mu nsi z'ebweru. How proud do you feel? This is where I ask even my friends in NRM. Really, when you look at some of us who are supposed to be a little comfortable, but coming here on social media to talk to you. Me, I am not a blogger. I don't even know how they make money on this thing. I know if you put on YouTube, whatever, they give you, because you get views and they give you a certain amount. I never do them. I don't know anyone who wants me to give him the rights. You do it and you get paid. But the reason why we come here to do this, what we are doing, is because the state of our country hurts us. Especially when you travel a little bit. The state of Uganda disturbs you. That I am telling you. Unless you were born very selfish, when you are well-traveled and well-educated, and you see things abroad, you see things everywhere, and you go home, owulira enyiike. And you know what's happening home, owulira enyiike. It is so shameful what Uganda has gone through, especially in the past 35 years. Let me tell you, for us scholars of politics, sometimes we are confused and we say, you know what? In some countries of Africa and even in the developing world, democracy may not be a good thing. Era ekiva mu lugero olugamba nti amamese amangi tegeesimira bunnya. Era olaba wano bwe tujja ku social media n'oyogera ekintu n'oyogera kiri, buli omu avaayo ne view ye n'ezitabadde n'ezitandituuse ku screen nazo zivaayo. But that is democracy. That is democracy. But the disadvantage in that is that you fail to take critical decisions that impact development. Because everybody is intelligent, everybody is clever. We studied the case of Singapore. We saw Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew sat on democracy. He sat on it. Lee Kuan Yew, by any stretch of imagination, was not a Democrat. But he had love for Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew weyatwalira obuyinza bwa Singapore. Uganda ne Singapore zali zenkana. In fact, Singapore yajja e Uganda esome health system ya Uganda. For those who don't know, Singapore yasindika aba officers baje e Uganda basome health system ya Uganda, so that Singapore can now copy Uganda and see how to do its health. Lee Kuan Yew ruled that country, and he did wonderful things for that country. I went to Singapore long time ago. I think it was 1996, many years ago. I saw a mini New York. The whole country, a mini New York. I saw a mini United States. People were enjoying life. Oh my God. Singapore. For those of you who have flown around, what is the best airport in the world? Ideally. You can say Dubai, Singapore. Life there, the quality of life. Buli avayo kwogera mu Singapore, meritocracy. Buli mukungu wa government avayo kwogera ku kintu kyayogerako, ayogera nga professor. Era mainire baba ba professor. Naye Museveni najja n'adibaga eggwanga. Museveni must admit that he failed at governance. Museveni yajja ne approach. I think in the beginning you could argue that he was a good man, because most of us were working with him. Now he came with an approach of, for a carpenter, every problem must be solved with a hammer. There are these people who are smuggling smuggling what, I will just shoot them. You see, you can't shoot your way around everything. You can't. Because you know a gun and how to shoot, you can't just shoot your way around everything. So the shoot approach, approach, it failed miserably. Then after some years, after the political dynamics had changed and the Tubejeko phase, in the beginning, Museveni had a lot of people supporting him, a lot of good men. Now, when the good men came and they were giving him pressure to make true democracy for the country, he started to feel uncomfortable. He started to feel very, very uncomfortable. So he started the Tubejeko approach. After changing the constitution, his colleagues were not happy. He said Tubejeko. Now, when the Tubejeko phase 1, because there is also Tubejeko phase 2, Tubejeko phase 1 was accomplished, Museveni became brazen. He said even stealing. Now, Tubejeko part 2 was when he got rid of Amama Mbabazi. Because Amama Mbabazi had some sobriety in management. Katiatao management went to the dogs. Until now, when it has hit rock bottom. And now, there is this phase 3 of his leadership, where he disregarded the people's voices. Because in these elections, Museveni did not even pretend. He just pushed away the entire results and replaced them with his own results. So he's aware, consciously, he's conscious of the fact that he's illegitimate. Abantu tebamwagala, tebamukoneramu. He's an illegitimate leader. Now, because he's aware that he's illegitimate, he knows there are no questions upon him. N'olwekyo wagenda kubeerawo ekintu kye tuyita ekigambo ekyo abantu abasinga bakikozesa nnyo, impunity, high level of impunity. Okubba ku luno, mark my word, Uganda has lost heavily through corruption and mismanagement. Corruption, mismanagement, and embezzlement. But this time, it is going to be times 7. I'm sorry to convey to you the bad news, but that's what it's going to be. You tell me, and I'll give you an example, because I am a scientist. I'll give you an example. When Museveni said money has come, we are going to put it in the development bank and give people who have been disturbed by COVID, those companies, the real economy. There's something he called the real economy. We shall give them money so that they okay. Ezo sente nga baziteekayo. Yesterday I was in a hurry. I was in a great hurry and I read something very small and I want to get some information from you, my viewers. I read very quickly that half of that money has been borrowed by one person to build akamwesi mall. Now, ladies and gentlemen watching me, I would like to ask, what is akamwesi? Who is the owner of akamwesi? Munyambeko. Because I suspect that what I've been telling you, that the impunity is going to explode 7 times after the robbed elections. These elections were not rigged. No. The results were robbed. The results of these elections were put aside. The voice of the people of Uganda incapacitated in the votes. Salim Saleh is the owner of Akamwesi. There we go. The results were completely put aside. Mr. Museveni put a newly written set of results. They were so shoddy that even the mathematics had not added up correctly. It took them some days to get the math right because those results were fake. So, if Akamwesi belongs to Salim Saleh, Salim Saleh took half the money for economic COVID-19 mitigation, took half the money to build Akamwesi Mall, Uganda Erikuchi. These are the people who are fighting in the bush. Oh, Salim Saleh, everybody was talking, Salim Saleh, very brave, very what? You see, their mission was to steal. So, my friends in NRM, how do you feel about that? My friends in ISO, ESO, military intelligence, and everywhere who are torturing the young men in Chitalia. The truth is, Salim Saleh has stolen half the money to revive your economy, to build a Kamwesi Mall. My friends, whom I have mentioned above, all the top people in government who get sick are treated in Kenya and other outside countries. And you, my friends, in those offices, especially you who is torturing people in Chitalia, if you fall sick, for you, you will go nowhere. In fact, for you, you will die like a dog in one of those hospitals of Uganda. God forbid, although you are torturing our people and killing them, beating them up in the drone, we don't want you to fall sick. But should you fall sick, my friend, you are in grave trouble. Security man, intelligence man, policeman, everybody, we are together in this problem. I like to give an example. Because you people, you look at the opposition and you even insult. You even insult the opposition. Some of you have insulted some of us. Look at this man, he was in foreign affairs, earning very good money, now he's there. What is his problem? Because money is not just money to eat. This life is not just about earning money and eating. Morality is also an issue. Morality is very important. Because when you have morals, you say, I will not go to Chengera and build a glass house amidst the poverty of Chengera. Because what will happen? I will attract all the thieves around there, who are not thieves because they were born thieves. No, they lack what to eat. They want to come and get my TV, which is so big, like a wall. They want to get some of the meat which they smelled when I was barbecuing. They want some of the money so that they can also be fine. So because I am sensitive, I said this will not happen. For me, I went to fight for change. But do not insult us. We are just thinking with you. We are just thinking with you. Let me give you the example I was telling you. Museveni's own sister. Yeah, and he has one sister, only one. Very educated, Dr. Violet Kajubiri, who lives in Germany, occasionally comes with her husband to Uganda. And she took one of those nice cars to go to the village. It was Christmas. You know how people come to enjoy Christmas. And then she got her nephew, Ewanu Agaba, who used to work in Kampala City Council. He said, Tugende, let's go to the village, enjoy Christmas. They drove on those bad roads. The bad roads of Uganda, for which most of the resources that make those roads has been stolen by Ugandan people supporting Museveni. They drove on those bad roads. Bwe mulaba ebigoma, omusajja yatadde ekifaananyi kya ebigoma, those things which take water under the road. And he was knocking on them with his fist. Ebisement nga bigwa. Before the bigoma are put under the road so they can take water. Now, what is that? So, Dr. Kajubiri, Violet, and the nephew, Agaba, drove on that road, on those, which Museveni calls, I built you roads. I gave you roads, you have very nice roads. I slept on the road from Guru, even I slept because they were driving me, and the road was very nice. Here, Muwonge, because Dr. Kajubiri and Agaba got a very powerful accident. And Agaba, a nephew of Museveni, ended up dying. Dr. Kajubiri was thrown out of the car into the bushes. She could have died. This is the sister, the only sister of Museveni. Of course, after that, they brought the helicopter. They took the good doctor to the hospital. The problems of mismanagement affect everybody. Everybody. You may be torturing Nubianiri, you may be torturing those other boys in Chitali, but I'm telling you, what they are shouting for concerns you as well. Afande, sipigani nawe nwanirira. Very sensible, very sensible. But for you, when you hear that it is Bobiwine who sang it too, Bobiwine, Ogunoha, it is not a tribal affair. It is not a tribal affair. I saw you writing recently, and I felt embarrassed. Something on social media. Have you seen the Uganda? Their king is sick, and they are just there. Now they are defrated. And if they start to be chaotic, we shall beat them up. This is not a tribal affair. The politics of this country, you backward men and women from that part of the world, is not an issue of tribes. It's an issue of humanity and improving our country so that we can all have a good life. Salim Sari, Akamwesi, Mall. You people don't have logic. What is the forward and backward linkage to the economy of Uganda in Akamwesi Mall? Now, the people who you want to sell in Akamwesi Mall, because your government is very bad, because for us we are fighting you, we are causing you problems abroad, we are reducing the money coming to you. When we reduce the money, now you are turning onto the people, overtaxing them. Someone goes to Dubai and buys goods for 350 million, brings them in a container. You charge them 400 million. You are hell bent on stealing Ugandans, robbing their voice, and then mubakame omusai. Now, if you are going to kukama omusai from Ugandans, then they come to Akamwesi Mall after paying those taxes and start selling their goods very expensively. Who is going to buy them? Who is going to buy them? Everybody in Uganda is poor. Who is going to buy your things? The things of your clients. So Akamwesi Mall is a white elephant, but using our money. Mukoze bubinyo bantu mwe mwalimba abantu ba Uganda. You have gone to work for them. You have a golden opportunity. I was talking about some fallacies of democracy, especially when it comes to development. Mufunye chance, you came with a gun. The people of Uganda, especially the people of the Central Region, basically are very meek. You have no political opposition to speak about. You would have used all this time to develop that country in a nice way. If Ugandans saw roads lasting for 20, 30 years, if Ugandans had water, if Ugandans had roads, if Ugandans had things they need, good schools and everything, if Ugandans did not have poverty, and all those are a result of your leadership, Ugandans themselves, let me tell you how peaceful Ugandans can be. Ugandans themselves would have changed the constitution so that Museveni remains until death. This I am sure about it. If Museveni did good things for Ugandans, good things, like he had all the goodwill when he came, Museveni would have stayed in power until death by permission of Ugandans. Singa Museveni avuga kagaali naita ku nguudo za Uganda nga talina bimotoka ebyo ebinywa amafuta gonna. Yandibadde nga atuuka enatete wali n'akyama n'agamba njagala gendako mu kayu abantu ne bamuwa akayu. Everything would be very easy. Nekati motoka zonna amafuta gaffe emizinga biki helicopter zibuuka waggulu. Why? It's very simple to rule that country for 50 years. Do the good things. But of course now it's too late. Too late. Too late, my friend, and I'm telling you we are going to do something about it. Because you people, your system is predatory and cannibalistic. You can't redeem yourselves now. Your time is up. Your time is up. And we are very serious. Because for you, you are thinking that the people of Uganda are so meek that they are not going to do anything. Let me tell you, they will do something. The Ugandans are not going to come to the street. No. They are very poor to do that. Our people are living on a Merialiru. They are so poor to do that. They have no time to come to the street. Most of them have been intimidated. Even, and I don't know why you are keeping Nubianiri, Edimutu, and all those boys in the jail now. What are they going to do to you? You have all the guns. You have, now these days, you brought new baggies. Motoka wabamajo obulwanira mu street, you know. You are so powerful. Nubianiri with his guitar cannot overthrow you. Why keep him in jail? But because you have this subconscious bothering you that you stole the victory. Everybody you see is a threat. This is the problem now. Everybody Muslim sees is a threat. Why? Because he stole direction. Blatantly. The people are suffocated. The people are intimidated. They can't do it as a mass. But a few good men, and by this I also mean women, will do something. They will surprise you. Not that I know. I don't know them, but I am saying that's what happens. That's what happens. The whole country can't just collapse like a building. No. There are still a few good men and women, and they will do something. Out here, for us, activists, continue to do our part. Because the way the political football of Uganda is right now, with the intimidation and the suffocation of the internal constituents, the most viable activity is now outside the borders of Uganda. That is why external activists now must work double hard. Double hard. We have already seen some results. They are starting to come. we should work very, very hard on this. We must work to encircle and paralyze the system. And we are going to do that, encircle and paralyze you. You see, now we have paralyzed you. We have paralyzed you. Kamwesi will not earn profit. And this is a message for my buddies who do activism abroad. Because you must now become creative. And since we don't have a forum where we meet to exchange ideas apart from a few here and there, let me tell you, you must become very creative. Just bashing Museveni around the world as a man who abuses human rights in Uganda, blah, 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 may not be enough to cause action. Abazungu abasinga, especially like these morons of Total and all those other countries, when you talk human rights, what comes to them is the barbarics are killing themselves. That's how they look at it. The barbarians are killing themselves. They are holding pangas, chasing each other and killing themselves. You see, those barbarians like to fight without anything. I'm telling you that we just fight. That's what comes to their mind. So what do? When you go to Africa, you choose the chief barbarian who can guarantee your interest, is the one you support. Now, you have to understand that mindset and change a few things. You must package and sell your activism in terms that touch the white man. I'll give you an example. I have said those human rights are not enough. Talk about things that affect them. Tell them that we have a barbarian. We have a barbarian who has his chiefs, and he has allowed them to cut the forests and mine sand anyway, anyhow. This sand mining and cutting down forests is very critical to your freedom in Uganda. That argument, because we are saying, because of that barbarian who has allowed for the exploitation of the environment, we have a problem with environment in Uganda and is affecting climate change in the world. Now, when the white man hears about climate change, he stops and says, that sells more. But human rights, you are butchering each other, it's okay. When you finish, you let us know. But environment is very important, critical, because climate change. And climate change is a global thing. We have to use tricks and globalize our struggle. Not to localize it, but to globalize it. Let us globalize it and cause more chaos so that a few good men can get an atmosphere locally to do their things. But for sure, you people with your cannibalistic regime, mwesikulide enfufu, and you are going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. Whenever I get time, I'll be coming back.